All right. All right. It's already 5 minutes past 5, and we need to start. I believe others are going to join us as we go on with this webinar. Once again, welcome everyone for joining this webinar where we will be having conversations around, how to make sales every month, at least 5 properties every month, and how to move from the from struggling as a realtor, to smiling to the bank. And before we go into the conversation tonight, I would like to, ask the realtors in the room one or two questions, right? I would like to ask us, you can just, the way this webinar is going to, the way it's going to be structured is such that any question that is being asked, except we unmute you, we definitely, you cannot unmute yourself, except we unmute you, you would have to, put down your question. You have to put down your question, the comment section. So my first question for the realtors in the room tonight is, what has been your biggest challenge when it comes to closing sales? Because you would agree with me that almost every realtor do the work, but you might be doing the work and not be doing the right work. So I would like to see responses to that. What has been your biggest challenge to closing sales? What has been those things that you've worked hard, you've called the client, you took the client to see the property, there have been a lot of back and forth, it looks like the client is interested, and at the end of the day the client went for something else, or the client did not even get back to you. What has been the biggest challenge? I would like to have that in the comment section. Let us have that. What has been the biggest challenge for you in the real estate space, irrespective of where you are in Nigeria, whether Lagos, Abuja, Bayelsa, Ogun State, wherever? What has been your, that biggest challenge? Just one thing, just, put it in the comment section while we look at it together. And also, I would also like to, ask that we answer this question: that how many property have you sold this month? Whether you sold it directly or you were part of a group of realtors that sold a particular property, or two or three, how many properties have you been involved in selling this month, the month of March 2026? Oh, I can see Deborah, disappointment from client about making payment. Okay, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Let us keep it coming, so that we can know how to really tackle these issues when we get to the question and answer, arm of this webinar. Let's get the questions keep coming. Okay, Abiodun says, my biggest challenge has been getting serious buyers. Wow, good. Good. So that means that people have been coming, but it seemed like they've not been serious. Okay, let us keep it coming. This is interesting. I'm liking this. Okay, lead generation. Fantastic. 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 Let us keep it coming. Getting a serious buyer to pay for the property. They only come but don't close the deal. Wow, good, good, good. I'm liking all these, all these challenges. I'm liking them, right? They are not uncommon. There are things that so many realtors are still facing, and so many realtors that have broken through, have faced before. So I love this. Let us keep it coming. Let us keep it coming. So what are the challenges? What are the challenges, that you face? And if you are on the call, you have sold one or two property in the month of March, let us know. Even if it is one, let us know. Or you are close to selling one. Okay, Stephanie said, okay, getting serious buyer. Okay, John Cross said, no, don't worry. By the time you put all the things you learned from this webinar tonight, you will start selling. You will start selling. And I need to chip in that your posture is also very, very important. If you believe and you work hard and you follow all these, principles and systems that would be shared with us this evening, I'm sure you are going to have a different story moving forward. All right, so thank you. Okay, someone said I've not sold any. Okay. Another person said owner or developer increasing price when client is about to make payment. Oh, yeah, this can be very, very, I can attest to the fact that this can be very, very discouraging. It can be very discouraging. Yeah. Yeah, it can be very discouraging, but I mean, there are things that we would touch on this evening. Thank you very much. So at this moment, I would be introducing our guest speaker to this evening. She's somebody that I've been in the real estate space for a while, and she has results, she has proofs. It's not just getting somebody who says I'm into real estate without results. You have to hear and learn from people who are also in this industry and who are ready to share right with you. So welcome with me with some excitement this evening, Tive Onoyanse. Tive Onoyanse's journey in real estate is built on growth and not chance. With over half a decade of experience in the real estate industry, she has developed a deep understanding of property investment, needs, and market dynamics. Her career took shape at Landway, where she progressed from investment manager to senior real estate manager. So I tell you, Tive is the right person for this job. Working closely with investors and guiding them towards smart, high-value property decisions. Beyond transactions, she has helped clients from different parts of the world confidently secure properties in Nigeria, bridging trust, distance, and opportunity with professionalism and clarity. Today, as lead supervisor and consultant at New Lux Homes, Tive brings her experience, to this conversation this evening, right? Currently, she is expanding her expertise into interior and space design, exploring how to meet Nigeria's evolving real estate needs with a global standard where functionality, aesthetics, and lifestyle come together seamlessly. Her story is one of consistency, growth, vision, shaping not just properties, but the experiences and lives connected to them. So tonight, with some excitement, I want us to welcome our guest speaker, Tive Onoyanse. Tive, welcome. We need to be excited in this room. It's going to be a conversational webinar, where we are going to be dealing with real life situation and how you can tackle these problems. So I want us to be excited. Like I said, your posture is very important. Are you expectant? Do you believe that from this webinar, you would forge ahead and you will make at least your first sale in the month of April? If you believe that I need some excitement in this room this evening, welcome, Tive. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. It's good to have you on the call.
Thank you so
And
much.
we are glad that, you said yes to our invitation. It's an honor. We thank you very much for joining us this evening. So, Tive, I'm going to start by asking you, right, to, speak about the real estate sales, the situation of real estate sales in Nigeria today. What is the situation like? What is happening? How juicy is the real estate space, and how well are people selling? I need you to just talk about the real estate sales environment within Nigeria. Thank you. Tive, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Can
here.
you hear
Can you?
me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So I didn't
Yes.
get the question.
Okay, so I said, can you speak to the environment of the real estate sales? What does it look like in Nigeria today? What's the sales like? I know that you have sold a lot of properties both to Nigerians, home, and Nigerians abroad. So in 2026, what is it like? What's it looking like? Is it on the positive, or it's tending towards the negative? What is it like, yeah, in Nigerians today?
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for first of all for having me on your platform. It's something I appreciate. Um, for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge and give me the opportunity to speak to people. All right. So if we're going to talk about the condition of the real estate sector in Nigeria today, if you ask people, they're going to say, oh, there is no money in Nigeria. People are not selling. Um, Realtors are not really making sales because there's too many competitions. Realtors are not making sales. But I'm happy to break it to you that there is so much money in the real estate sector now than ever before. I would say that when I started real estate, I've always been interested in real estate, even before I eventually ventured into real estate as a consultant. Way before then, the traditional way of selling real estate, talking to people that and all of that. Yes, people were making sales, but not as now, because the world now is a global village, right? So there is so much opportunity to sell real estate than ever before. Last year, the real estate sector brought in billions and billions of naira for the Nigerian economy. So you can imagine how much, realtors are pocketing from that billions and billions of naira. So there is so much opportunity now than ever before because the world is a global village. You can post something now and someone in America can sit, send you a message and buy from you. It was not like that before, So right now, there is so much opportunity in real estate than ever before. And mind you, some people that say that, there is no money, there's money in Nigeria, and a lot of people are selling. And so I'm so happy that we have platforms like this to inform realtors that have that notion that people are not selling. That's not true. A lot of realtors are selling, and now is even the time to actually sell more than ever before. Yes, so it's a good time for realtors. We have to make the money. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tive. So, I mean, if I heard you right, the real estate space is a blooming space, and a lot of people are cashing out. A lot of people are smiling to the bank, and you shouldn't be part of those saying that. There's even something that a lot of people are saying now. 2027 is election year, so people are holding their money, people are not buying. That shouldn't be your posture. You can hear from Tivet that a lot of people are still buying. So there's something about how you position your mind that if people are selling, I am also going to sell. So the positioning is key. So Tive, can you please speak to some of the struggles of realtor? I've seen so many realtors that are credible. These realtors are sincere. They are interested in selling and selling right, and yet they are not closing deals. Can you speak to some of the struggles, some of the factors that you believe might be causing these struggles? Did you hear me, Tive? Tive, did you hear
Yes, I can hear
me?
you. So if I
Did
heard
you
you,
hear the
yes,
question?
I can hear.
Okay.
Yes. If I heard you correctly, speaking to realtors that are credible, because I want to believe that if all of us that were on this platform were credible. So one of the struggles that is very key that we're facing right now is government policy and industry structure. Right now anybody can be a realtor. So there is no proper channel to being a realtor. So when you have an industry where anybody can become anything, then you have a lot of bad eggs also giving that industry a bad reputation. All right. So because there is no proper structure to being a realtor in Nigeria, we have a lot of bad eggs that are giving the industry a bad PR. Okay, so if we are able to have a proper structure and regulation that, okay, before you become a realtor, you have to take so certification, it will help to streamline how many, credible realtors. Then we'll have more credible realtors. Then um, investors will be able to trust realtors more and sales will be better. Another thing about the government policies that we're also talking about is, oversight failures when it comes to building. I'm going to use real life examples when talking so that we're able to relate better. So when it comes to, for instance, the coastal road, or the Oral Estate Phase 2 in Lagos, Lekki, when that happened, some of these properties actually have government approval. The government were aware when they were building, you know, they had, some of them also had the governor's consent actually, but they were obtained in dubious through corruption, our normal. Can everybody hear me? Okay, because I have someone saying you can't hear my voice. So I want to be sure because everybody has to follow. Can we hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to that, you see that because the government has not taken the place of governance, we have a lot of corruption going on. Clients would invest in properties. At the end of the day, it gets demolished. Now it gives, and that same client will say, it is the realtors though, whereas it is not the realtors that built it, it is developers. And again, when it comes to also developers as well, we see developers taking plans, building plans for approvals. And these people will see these building plans. The government will see the building plans that are not up to standard and they will still approve it. Now, I took my client to a particular structure. That was 2 weeks ago. When we got to the apartments, it was a terrace. It was a 3-bedroom terrace. The clients could not go upstairs because the staircase was it was a disaster waiting to happen. So the client said, no, 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 I'm not even interested at all. Now, the government cannot say that they did not see the building approval because that particular property had a building approval. The government were aware that that structure was in place, and yet they allowed it, right? So we have a government problem. We have a policy problem in Nigeria. And so that also gives agents a bad name. I saw this post trending. There was this particular swimming pool. It looked like a fish pond. Now, a realtor actually posted it. And then they were saying, Lagos agents. And it's actually not the fault of the agent, if you're going to think about it. It's not the fault of the agent, it's the fault of the developers. And even in turn, the fault of the government that approved such structure in the very first place. So we have a policy problem in Nigeria. So if the government is able to help, um, if the government is able to help us in that area, we'll see that sales will be easier and it will be better. Another struggle of every realtor is what's it called? inconsistent lead generation, we see that sometimes, can everybody hear me? I just want to be sure.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, all right. Oh, okay. So the solution to that is like the government has to rise up to the occasion and help us in this regard. Ensure that title documents are not collected or not approved via corruption, to also ensure that the building approvals, they ensure that every building is approved and up to industry standard. That will help us. And then another thing that a lot of realtors also encounter is inconsistent lead generation. Sometimes I speak to a lot of realtors. Sometimes they close one deal in a month, and then for the next like 4 months, there are no deals, because clients are actually not coming in. And that can also be as a result of maybe knowledge, where to actually post your properties and all of those things, which we're going to talk about. And then another thing that also gives that is also affecting realtors is bad reputation, lack of client trust. Some clients, maybe their siblings or their friends have been scammed before. For instance, they won't want to trust realtors anymore. And they come to you, you're a credible realtor. You know your onions. You've done your research. You know that this property is, and you've done your client's profile, you know that this property will tailor to your client's needs. But then because of the trauma that they've had, now imagine those people that were affected by the Oral Estate Phase 2 saga. They are not really going to trust the next realtor anymore. So, but that can be combated if you are a high value, or you bring value to the table, which we're also going to talk about. And then another thing is that I see somebody said something like that. The person talked about unserious clients. We have some clients that a client sent me a message one time, very funny. And the client said, Tive, I need a property. And I'm like, okay, what type of property? Because before you respond to clients, you want to be able to profile their needs to particular properties, because they cannot buy all the properties in the market. And he said, any property. I said, okay, are you using it for investment or for residential purpose? He said, anyone. Okay, what's your budget, sir? He said, anything, just send me. And in my head, I'm like, how am I going? I should send you the tens and hundreds of properties on my phone. So we have clients like that. And what can help you is if you have a good sales structure, a good sales funnel, that you're able to filter, okay, this client is serious. This one, maybe you buy months later. This one is ready to buy. And so let me just focus my energy on these particular ones. That would also help. So we have a struggle of, on serious clients in the market. Yeah, so that, and, but those are the key ones that we have that I can touch on. Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure you have mentioned so many things in the hearts of a lot of people on this call this evening, right? Sincerely, agents or realtors, people call themselves agents or call themselves realtors. A lot of people are going through a lot. You spend money, go for inspection, there's a lot of back and forth with the client, and at the end of the day, the client doesn't respond positively. Some will even ghost you. Some will not even answer your calls again, and you spoke a lot about, the sales funnel, the funnel that the realtors are engaging to even sell their property. And I think I also need to add how the realtor carries himself or herself is also important. If you show to a client that you just want to sell the property. I just want to sell. I just want to sell. You are not offering any value. You have had interactions with realtors, maybe with a client of mine, and we probably go see a property together. And this realtor can see that this property, the location is not too good, it floods, but because the realtor wants to sell, you will hear all sorts. It is fantastic. If the client comes up with an issue like, oh, the road seems not to be good, we're like, oh, they are going to fix it in 2 months. And I'm like, how did you know they will fix it in 2 months? Just because you want to sell. So there are so many things that contribute to clients saying no or not even answering realtors anymore. So, Tive, I want us to, go deep into the main conversation of tonight, which is, I need us to speak about the framework that works. As someone who has sold properties consistently, you just mentioned that you took your client to, a property 2 weeks ago. I know that you sell properties consistently. No, as someone who has sold properties consistently, I need you to introduce us to the framework or strategies that will help, a realtor on this call this evening to attract serious buyers, to build credibility, and to close more deals consistently, such that he or she will not just be posting on, various social media platforms. That's what a lot of people do. People just post. There was a day I told there's a friend of mine that I saw posted a property for sale on his WhatsApp status. And this guy is a medical doctor. So I'm like, are you also into real estate now? And he was like, everybody is doing real estate too. Everybody is posted. And then I asked him a sincere question. I said, in fact, the property he posted was in billions, right? I think the property was about 2.5 billion and all that. And I asked him that everybody is posting. That's cool. But do you have anybody in your contacts that are viewing your WhatsApp, right, that can pay 2.5 billion for a property? So that is, advertising via the wrong channel. So I need you to speak to the framework of how realtors on this call can move from not selling to selling, or move from, not generating leads to generating leads, and eventually closing deals. Because it's one thing to generate leads, it's another thing to close deals. You can generate so many leads and not close deals. So what is the framework, the strategies that have worked for you, and you believe it's going to work for anybody that puts in the work, from this webinar? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mark, for that question. All right, so I'll speak from experience, because experience, they say, is the best teacher, right? So I'm not just speaking head knowledge, right? I'm going to speak from experience. So one of the things that has helped me in my real estate journey is positioning. You have to become the go-to realtor for your clients, right? So, and the thing is that clients buy from people that they trust. And for them to be able to trust you, they need to first of all like you before they can now trust you. And in the process of doing that, you need to be value driven. You cannot be a realtor that is just transactional. Come and buy, come and buy. So there are these things that I wrote here for you to be, and it's in terms of positioning, it talks to the fact that you have to build a personal brand, right? Let your clients be able to know that if we get to this person, she's going to do this. This is what you are known for. And so there are these 4 things that I go by. For you to be able to stand out, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to be reliable, you have to be professional, and you have to be trustworthy, right? I see a lot of realtors rather. Are you an agent? Because there's a difference between being an agent and being a real estate consultant. First of all, you cannot be calling yourself an agent if you are trying to sell properties and you are trying to sell high value properties. You cannot be calling yourself an agent. Even the name self. You can call yourself a real estate consultant. There is a difference, right? Because you are helping your clients make informed decision about their investment. You are helping them, really. You are helping them with their money so that they don't go ahead and invest hundreds of millions of naira into something that is not it. So you have to, be knowledgeable even about the industry that you're in. First of all, you have to position yourself as a real estate consultant, not an agent. That clients can come to with their real estate problems and you are able to solve them. And then you have to be knowledgeable. I see a lot of a lot of realtors. You are a real estate consultant. You don't know governor's consent. You don't know C of O. You don't know the difference between a governor's consent and a C of O. You don't know the difference between a gazetted land. Clients, you can take a client to a property that has C of O, and they'll say, what's the difference between global C of O and gazettes or excision? Yes, you are not what's it called? You're not a lawyer. However, you need to know this basic knowledge. Why is it a gazetted land? What will happen for a land to have a gazette that we can say, okay, this is a gazetted land? What will happen for a land to have a title of excision, for instance? It's not just only C of O and governor's consent that we have. Even those ones, you have to know why they are what they are. Just be knowledgeable about your real estate circle. And I see a lot of realtors. This also happened to a staff of mine. I took her on an inspection and with a client, and I'm like, okay, take the client on an inspection. Let me even see how you're going to, tell the client about the property. Using words like this is the kitchen or this is the master's bedroom. You can touch yourself up and call it a primary instead of a master's bedroom. A primary is so basic. A master's bedroom is basic. Everybody uses master bedroom. You can call it a primary. The outside, especially the veranda, especially if it's upstairs, you can call it a patio instead of calling it what's it called? A veranda. Or, you can call it a terrace view. You can call the box room, or for instance, utility room, for instance. You can use those terms. When it comes to investment terms, you can use investment terms like ROI, return on investment, is an off-plan property. It is encumbrance free. All of those terms, it will make you knowledgeable and it will make you confident as well. Confidence breeds, or knowledge breeds confidence. When you know what you're talking about, you are able to convince the next person or your client to be able to trust you. They're going to say, let them even feel like they're even robbing you of your ideas. People like to cheat people. That's just the truth. Let your clients feel like they are getting something for free from you, because they're like, anytime that I will call her like this, she will just be giving us different things for free, without even asking her. She's able to teach us on this and this and this. Let them feel like they are getting value even before they make payments, right? So when you show up and you show up with so much knowledge, right, the clients will be able to, they will like you, and then they'll be able to trust you with hundreds and even billions of naira. And another thing is that you need to be able to guide your client out so that at the end of the day, because some clients are very funny, right? At the end of the day, maybe something goes wrong. Maybe something goes wrong in a transaction. I'm going to give you an example because I like to talk from experience. There's this particular property that I was in, that was 2 years ago. Before that, I've never been involved in that volume of transactions. It was going into the billions. And it was an industrial property. Now, as a real estate consultant, I took my client through the process. So this is what we're going to do. At this stage, this is what we're going to do. So they already liked the property and everything. They sent it to their lawyers, a big law firm. They've confirmed that everything is okay. However, I told my client, I said, this particular property, we have the survey plan. However, can I give you my surveyor, or you have a surveyor? Take a surveyor to this property. Let them chart the land and then go and verify it, whether it is the same land that you're buying or it is the same measurement. So your surveyor is, my client was like, oh, and it's a big firm. Oh, I don't know why they didn't want to spend money. They were like, oh no, we'll use our what's it called? Our own surveyor or something like that in our company. And that one came with a tape and came to measure the land. Land that is in acres. Okay. He measured the property. We closed the deal and everything. 2 months later, they were supposed to move to site. They've given their building people everything. And then they sent me a message. The land, let's say the land is 500 square meters. It's in the acres, but let me just use 500 square meters, for example. They moved to site and they found out that it was short of 200 square meters. So where do we begin? And so I had to remind him that, and I had it in chats and in email as well. And that is something that we also need to adapt. You need to be professional in the way you respond to your clients. So it was in the email. This is the process that we have to go through right now. And it was also in the email when he responded that, no, we are going to use this one. So now on a normal
Well, Tive, we can't hear you again if you're still speaking. Tive.
this was coming from him. So you need to guide your client. You have to be knowledgeable. Don't just be about your benefits alone. Also come from the client's point of view. I want to also benefit the client. Another thing that you can do is that you have to be professional. Some people are too rigid in their conversation. I'm not saying that you should be rigid. And some people are too friendly. Don't be too over friendly. And also the way you show up also matters. When you show up, are you dressing smart? How do you address them? And all of that. Now, another thing that I don't want to take so much of our time. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope we are getting something from this conversation. We need reactions. Are we getting things? Are we getting things? Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So the way you also show up also matters, and the way you address your clients. How do you address them? For instance, you're coming for inspection. The inspection is for 10 o'clock. We know how Lagos traffic, or if you are anywhere, maybe you're caught up in something. How do you communicate with your clients? I won't be able, I'm currently in transit. I'm currently on my way, but I'll be 20 minutes late. Apologies. Thank you so much for waiting for me, or thanks so much for your patience. Communication. You have to communicate clearly, and you also have to communicate professionally, all right, as a realtor. Then one other thing that you have to be able to do is to have consistent lead generation. Okay. There's something in sales that we call sales funnel. And I'm sure that that's the reason why we're all here. We want to make sales at the end of the day. You can be knowledgeable, you can show up as a professional, you can do everything. And then if you are not getting leads, how will you make sales? At the end of the day, it is to make sales. That money has to be made. However, the kind of platforms that you use as well matters. All right. Are you using Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all of those things? And that's why I'm so happy about what FNP is doing. And I'm sure that we're going to get to that in a minute. So consistent lead generation. You're using Instagram. What's the message on your Instagram when you are posting videos? What's the caption? Can I look at your video and say, okay, this is what this person is saying? Does he have a clear message? For instance, I see a lot of ads, and I'm like, what are you saying? I don't know. And so you need to be able to also do that. And you have to have consistent lead generation. When it comes to consistent lead generation, I was talking about sales funnel. right? For instance, you're supposed to be able to keep track, have systems. You can use Notion, for example. You can use Notion, you can use Google Sheets, you can use Trello. You need to be able to track your clients. Okay, I was able to have 100 leads this month. From 100 leads, because it's a funnel, right? It's a sales funnel. You have 100 leads, maybe just 20 serious clients. And then at the end of the day, you are able to convert maybe 2 or 5 sales. Imagine you have only 20 people or 10. No sales. That's just what it means. No sales. That's just what it means. So it is in the bulk of your lead generation that you are able to get sales in the very first place. And that is one of the things. Usually I use Instagram, but then Instagram ads is a lot of money. Instagram ads is a lot of money. And so that's why using platforms like Find Nigeria Properties, for instance, is a very good one. And that's why I'm so excited to even be here in the very first place, because I want to be able to minimize costs and still have lead generation, right? So can you hear me? I'm told that my voice is low. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please, is it a common concern? I can hear her.
Okay, so you need to be able to track your sales. Okay, are my sales coming from Instagram? For instance, I run Instagram ads. Are my sales coming from mainly Instagram or from referrals? If it is referrals that your sales are coming in from, maybe you should just channel your energy towards the past leads that you've had. And you're able to channel this energy on the past leads that you have, because you already have a system that shows, okay, this I have so amount of clients. So now let me continue, let me reach out to them so that they are able to refer me. So you need to be able to track your sales funnel. Okay, that means it's my phone. Okay, so you need to be able to track your sales funnel. Another thing, so and that's why like I said, FNP is one platform that you can also do that. We're going to get to that. I'm sure our host is going to explain to us in depth, because me too, I'm also tired of using Instagram ads because it's a lot of money. Instagram ads is a lot of money. I need a platform that can help me with consistent lead generation, where I don't have to spend so much, but then I'm getting the value for my returns, right? And I would say the last thing, the only thing, but the last thing is your follow-up. Now, if you are getting this lead generation, how do you even follow up on them? It's not like a platform like Find Nigeria Properties will help you to generate leads, and then you don't know how to follow up. For instance, you have to have a system that, okay, I get these leads from Find Nigeria Properties. For example, after inspection, after taking the client, I've already profiled the client. First thing that you have to do is to profile a client so that you know whether this client is serious or not. Then when you profile the client, you take the client on an inspection. After the inspection, what do you do immediately after? For me, I would always advise you get in contact with the client before 24 hours. Thank you so much. It was an amazing time taking you on an inspection. What are your opinions about the property? Do you have questions about the property? That is a way to follow up with your client. Instead of you to say, have you decided what you want to eat? Have you decided, are you going with it or not? You can just say, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm just checking in to know if you have any questions about the property and how we can proceed. You see, that's a more professional way. That will even help them to even converse with you better and say, okay, this person is not about, instead of you to say, come and make payments. Come and make payments now. Come and make payment. There are other phrases that you can use. Instead of saying pay now, okay. You can say something like, there can be an increased interest on the property. I'm just checking in to inform you about this decision that is coming along. There are better ways to be able to follow up with your client, because there's something in sales. It says that not a lot, and I'm just going to paraphrase. It says that not um salespeople don't make sales, not because they don't work hard, but because they get lost in the follow-up. So you need to be able to follow up with your client. You find Nigeria properties help you to generate leads. Can you follow up on the clients that they generated for you? And yeah, so those are just the few ways that you can actually make sales. So when you follow up with your clients like that, they will eventually, and how you also show matters as well.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
And I just want to add, because I'm very, very sure that the host has, webinars to help us in the knowledge areas on how to follow up with clients, how to show up. I'm sure she has all of those in the pipeline. So just watch out. I just thought to let you know. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tive. Okay, we are going to get to that point. Just keep your questions somewhere. We are going to get to that point. I hope we have gotten things tonight. When Tive was talking about how to follow up, I've heard things like, when is your client making payment? 10 people are on the property. I'm like, what is even the meaning of this? What do you mean by when is your client making payments, 10 people are on the property? Are you threatening the client? Are you threatening the client? And for someone that someone that wrote in the comment section that, the owner of the property increased the price even before the client made payment. I think Tive just touched on one of the things you can do. Most likely that client also dragged. Most likely the client also dragged. Maybe the client checked the property in January, and then the client is coming back around August. The truth is, property appreciates, especially it depends on the location, property appreciates every day. So a property that is selling for 200 million naira in Ikate today, by the time you come to that same property by December, though no one has bought it, it might have appreciated to 220 or 230. So the way you follow up with the client is very, very key. You see it in a very, very professional manner, and not as if you are threatening the client that it's a do or die. If you don't do it now, somebody is going to take it, blah, 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 blah. I know Tive did not even speak to one thing that is very common amongst realtors these days, which is inspection fee. The client has not even checked the property. Sincerely, I don't know why that it was a sudden. It wasn't like that some 5-6 years ago in the industry, but right now somebody wants to check your property, you will say, I want 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira inspection fee so that I will know whether you are serious. That is not professional. And just to tie everything together, Tive mentioned 3 important things that would help you to align yourself and close sales. The first one was positioning. And she said positioning has a lot to do with your knowledge of the industry, your knowledge of the property, your offering of value, and not just wanting to sell to the client. And the second one she mentioned, who can tell me what she mentioned next? You can type it in the chat box. Who can tell me what she mentioned? The number 2. I want to know the person that was really, really concentrating. The second thing she mentioned after positioning. Wow, Boluwatife, that's very correct. Having consistent lead generation, and that was where she, spoke about your sales funnel. How you are channeling your advertisement of the property. Are you using Instagram? Are you using a platform like Find Nigerian Properties? Are you using Facebook? Are you using word of mouth referral? You have to actually use different funnels and then see the one that works for you. However, Fine Nigerian Property have made the work, very, very easy for us. And we are still going to get to that in a moment. Then number 3 thing she mentioned was about closing deal. How you close your deal, it has to be professional. How you follow up. Follow up is very key in this industry, because the truth is there are so many stakeholders. I tell you, it's not only the person that comes to inspect the property that is the stakeholder on the purchase of that property. If it is the guy that came to inspect, trust me, the wife is in fact a major stakeholder than the man. The wife has more say than the man. In fact, I always pray that my clients come with their wives. Because even if the man checks the property, if the wife says no, the kitchen is too small, it is finished. But if both of them come for the inspection, and then you have your way of saying, ma, and then this kitchen is not so small, it depends on how you are looking at it. You have this at the back, you have this extension, you have the pantry here, just like what Tive said. I'm just trying to reiterate what she has said. You communicate the value, how you communicate, what the client is going to get from purchasing this property is very key. So your positioning, lead generation strategy, and then following up, nurturing the relationship to the end that you close the deal. So before we go to question and answer, I would like to speak to, how you can enjoy positioning and lead generation. To start with, for you to position appropriately and adequately, like Tive already mentioned, you need to build a brand for yourself. You cannot just stay on that level of posting on just any social media, paying for ads. You don't have a professional outlook, right? You are still using your personal WhatsApp channel. It's not a business channel where people can be responded to professionally. Somebody just said, hey, I like the property. Just say, hello, when do you want to check? Some realtors will even say, are you a buyer or a realtor? That is not a professional way of answering somebody that is reaching out to you for the first time about a property. So you need to brand yourself, appropriately. And so you have to start from there. Then you can now, come to a platform like finenigerianproperties.com, right? You can sign up on finenigerianproperties.com. On finenigerianproperties.com, we have done most of the work for you. Like I can say 85 to 90% of the work for you. The link is already is being displayed right now. Go to the chat session, you will see the link there. Click on the link, start clicking on the link now, because it is absolutely free. You can't get it free elsewhere. Sign up and start listing. And this is what we do. On Fine Nigerian Properties, we have positioned the platform to attract buyers, because we are selling credibility. So property buyers come to Fine Nigerian Properties to look for credible realtors. And when I mean credible realtors, I mean credible realtors. On Fine Nigerian Properties, you cannot just list your property. You cannot just list your property and then it will go live. We will look at what you are listing. If you are asking for 20% agency fee or commission, like so many other agents are asking for in some part of Lagos now, your property will not go live. Because the law says 10% for rent and 5% for sale. In fact, there's a bill that is proposing 5% for rent. I don't know if it has been passed, but I mean, there's a bill proposing 5% for. So on finenigerianproperties.com, if you list a property that doesn't align with what the law says, it cannot go live. So a lot of buyers, a lot of investors trust the platform to come check for property. So this is where you need to be. And aside from the fact that we bring you before, credible buyers, paying buyers, and not just people that will just be checking giving you traffic. You can have so many followers on Instagram or Facebook and it's not converting to sales. So on Fine Nigerian Properties, we are showing, somebody said, please, the link again. Please let's keep posting the link. Adiola, please keep posting the link, right? We are showing your property to buyers that these are credible buyers. And that's why I said we are self-regulated. Your property will not go live. Even if you list, it won't go live if you don't follow what the law says. If you say 20%, it's ridiculous. 20% of agent for commission. Why? Why are you asking for 20%? Why? Right? So if you do that, if you do all sorts of things that are not in line with the law, we would not list your property. So, buyers, investors, property investors, they trust Fine Nigerian Properties. So that is where you need to be. And aside from showing your property to them, once any prospect clicks on a property to view on finenigerianproperty.com, right? After some hours, we would also follow up with those persons that clicked on the property, just to check on them that, we realize you check on the property here. Are you satisfied? Just to help you, do another follow-up aside from the one you would do when they reach out to you. So you can see that we are also in a way helping you to nurture the people that are checking properties on the platform. Right now, your own role is now to ensure that you present yourself professionally enough to allow anyone that reach out to you to close the deal. And that is what Tive have explained, tonight. And I tell you, I don't think anybody can do it better than Tive. So please go to the link and sign up. The video on how you can sign up and how you can list on finenigerianproperty.com would be streamed shortly. So please just pay attention. The video would be streamed shortly, right? On how you can sign up on finenigerianproperty.com and then how you can list on finenigerianproperty.com. Adiola, are you the one playing the video? We need some volume, please. Stephen and Adiola, is there a reason why we don't have volume? We don't have sound, sorry. Stephen and Adiola, is there a reason why we don't have sound? Just so that we would maximize Tive's presence, but I know that she will have to leave us soon. There's going to be a WhatsApp link also that will be shared so that we can share with you this video and also the recording of this session. So please join the WhatsApp link so that we can share this information with you, and we can also answer your questions on how you can effectively, sign up for this. Sign up on finenigerianproperties.com and then list properties effectively, right? So there's going to be a WhatsApp link. Adiola, please, I need you to drop the WhatsApp link now. Please drop the WhatsApp link. We can't have, we are not having sound, so just drop the WhatsApp link. So when people join the WhatsApp group, we can take it up from there. We can send them the video and then send them the recording of this class so that we can go to question and answer. So finenigerianproperty.com. Let's all go there now. Go there now. Don't procrastinate. Start your positioning today. Don't start from there. And you need to believe that you can sell and that you will sell. Whatever your experiences in the past, was, let it just be in the past and let us forge ahead. That's why this webinar was put together, to help credible realtors sell. Right? The truth is, people that are selling, they are not smarter than you. They are not better than you. It's not like they can speak better English. It is positioning, lead generation, and deal closing. It's not like they are better. Sincerely. In this industry, I have seen someone close a deal and his commission, I'm not exaggerating, his commission was over 200 million. I'm not exaggerating. For those of us that are in Lagos, you would understand what I'm saying. Some transaction in the likes of Bodilon, some transaction is Eco Atlantic. You will know that if you close like 5 or 6 units in Eco Atlantic, your commission can be as much as 200 million. Right? So you might not even start from there, because the truth is that person has failed for years. This person I'm talking about has been in real estate space for more than 20 years. So you can't compare yourself with somebody like that, right? If you are just starting, or even if you started for 10 years, right? Because the person to have had times where it's just 1 million, it's just 2 million, it's just 3 million. So I'm not saying you should compare yourself with people like, I'm saying that you can make at least 2 million naira in the month of April if you put all these things to use. Don't just leave this webinar and do things the same way you used to do it. Sit down with yourself. How do I position myself? This lady said I should position. How do I position myself? What is sales funnel? Make your own research. Go to finenigerianproperty.com. How does it work? Especially with the fact that to list on finenigerianproperties.com is absolutely free. So what are you losing? You have to put in the work. You see all these I believe in miracle. I believe in miracle too, but you must work. You must put in the work. It will not be fair on God to give you sales when you are not putting in the work. If you know the kind of work Tive puts to her business, doing trainings over and over, she goes for trainings, as she's making sales, she's learning. So you have to invest in yourself. You have to do the work. You have to go out. You have to invest in looking good, dressing well. You want to sell a property of 200 million. You don't have to spend so much to dress well. The way you look, you must look like someone that wants to sell a 200 million naira property. You must. Right? So I need you all to click the link and start signing up while we go straight to question and answer. So if you have, I'm going to be taking, 3 people or 2, I think 2 people who want to ask question. I'll just randomly pick 2 people and we will unmute you. So if you want to ask a question, once there's something you need clarity about, I need you to please signify with a raise of hand, so that we can just coordinate it and it will not be Rowdy, just 2, 3 people. If you have questions, you can type it in the chat box. But I mean, 2 people that are willing to speak out. You want to speak out? Yes, we are going to give in opportunity to 2 people who would like to talk about their challenge. Okay, I've listened to you guys. How do I do this in the light of what you guys have said to this evening? How do I achieve this? So 2 people, 2 people. Okay, Michael. Zan first. Any other person? Any other person? Okay, Michael, let's have you. Michael, Stephen, can you please unmute Michael? Michael, you know, uh, uh, is it me? Michael, your line is breaking. Sorry, sorry, Michael, we can't hear you. Tive, can you hear Michael?
Hello,
I'm
good
not at all.
evening.
The network is kind of breaking.
Hello, good evening. Can you
Okay,
hear
good
me?
evening. Yes,
Yeah, I can
Michael,
hear you. Good evening,
we
ma'am.
can
Good
we
evening.
can hear you now. Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead, Michael.
Hello,
Good evening, Michael. Go
I
ahead.
can hear you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. If you can hear me,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah. I-
Apologies, Michael. You may have to type your questions. The network is breaking, so it's not clear. Okay, I can see Emperor. Emperor, I have a question. Don't know how to signify. Stephen, can you please unmute Emperor?
Hello, good evening. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but I stopped hearing you guys.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, um, okay. So my question is just based off what you guys just mentioned just now, because I have a little bit of experience in marketing as well. But my question goes thus because you mentioned 2 things about your branding, which is probably the content and stuff, and you also mentioned ads, right? So my question would be, I have an understanding of like outbound approach, which is whereby to them. So my question is there any approach in that manner that can also help us in getting clients?
I'm not sure I understand your question, Emperor. I hear that you said, we mentioned about ads and branding, and then you now said you are not sure if there's any approach that can help to get clients. Not sure. Otive, did you did
Yeah.
you get
So
it? Go ahead, please.
okay, so what I was saying is that basically, from my own understanding of attracting clients, we have 3 methods, which is the ads, the branding, which is the content, and as well, you doing a little bit of outbound, which is directly reaching out to prospects, like maybe it might be cold calling or directly messaging them on social media platform. So my question is there any strategy that is in place that maybe we can use as well to reach out to clients directly through their DMs on, let's say, Facebook or Instagram or the likes?
Okay, Tive, do you want to answer this question?
Okay, I'm not sure I understand it, but I will just try to answer. So when it comes to, because I've done a little bit of cold calling and cold messaging as well. So when it comes to, because here we are, we want to make sales. We want to make at least 5 sales in a month. All right. So what I would suggest is using the best approach possible. And so because I have tested cold messaging and cold calling, I started my career as a real estate consultant, cold messaging, cold calling. Most of the times it doesn't yield a lot of results. Because how do you want to profile because we're talking about millions of naira, hundreds of millions of naira, tens of millions of naira, billions of millions of naira. How are you able to profile your clients? It's not an industry where it is accessible to everybody. It's not everybody that can afford to buy real estate. And so that's why I find that cold calling or cold messaging I'm not saying that you will not get sales from it. I have gotten sales from it, but it's just one in all my career. And I started as a cold caller, right, in Landway. So I'm not saying that is not an approach in itself, but if we're looking for productive approach, right, the platforms that I use, right, I post on Instagram. I also post on LinkedIn as well. You can use LinkedIn as a platform because that was where I got my first real estate big real estate hit. You can use LinkedIn as well, but most of the time I use Instagram. And then you can also use platforms like Find Nigeria Properties as well. You are able to get consistent leads, buyers that are ready, people that are ready to buy. Do you understand? So what I would advise, I'm not saying that cold calling or cold messaging, you cannot get sales. But if you are trying to sell 5 properties in a month, I would not advise that cold calling is the best way to go. No, we have to use platforms and strategic ways. Let your what's it called, your videos or your pictures be clear enough. Let them be professional so that when your client sees, they know that, okay, they don't even need to message you that how much is the property, the prices, everything are already there. There's not too much long talk, so it's only attract serious buyers, people that are ready to buy. So the platforms that you use and the approach that you use also matters. So I use Instagram, use platforms like Find Nigeria Properties that will help me to conserve money for ads and all of that. That is what I would advise. Yeah, if you're looking to sell, make money, because that's what we are here for, right?
Thank you, Emperor. I hope she answered the question. Okay, Lara Atakon will be the second person we would allow to ask a question. Lara, have you
Hi, good
been?
evening. I hope you can hear me. Thank you to the host of this training, and thank you, Ms. Tive, for your impactful teaching. Really, really appreciate it. So my question goes thus. I wanted to ask I just started real estate last year, and my major challenge is ads targeting. I understand that Find Properties Nigeria is a great platform for listings and all that, and I'm looking I'm looking very forward to trying out this platform. However, on Instagram, I don't know if there is anything you could give us insights on how to run ads properly and ads targeting. Because for me, for like the couple of times I've tried Instagram ads and Facebook ads, I only got irrelevant leads, not people that are potential buyers, basically tomato sellers and stuff like that. So of like maybe 100, 200 leads, at least we should be able to get maybe, I don't know, 5, 10 quality people that would be potentially interested in getting a property or knowing a family or friend. So if you could shed more light on ads targeting, basically, that's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Lara, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, honestly, I can actually relate. I can relate to that. So what I would say is that it still boils down to the kind of platform that you use. For instance, I will not advise you to do a Facebook ad. When I mean Facebook, all your leads should come in from Facebook. I've tried it. I've spent money on Facebook ads. They're not the greatest, honestly. So I will not really advise that you use Facebook adverts. You can use Instagram, but the thing about Instagram ads, like just target it through Instagram. But the thing like about Instagram ads is that they are quite expensive. And for someone that is just starting, right, they can be very cost effective or, cost implicating, they are very costly and very expensive. You need to spend a lot of money. Sometimes I go ahead and spend as much as 40K per day, yeah, on Instagram ads. And so that's why, like I said, I like platforms like Nigeria Properties, where they can help me with sales targeting and I'm able to get leads. Because even me, I'm also tired of spending a lot of money on Instagram. Yes, you might get quality leads, but it's cost implicating. So, and that's why platforms like Find Nigeria Properties, just gets me. So yeah. So I wouldn't advise Facebook.
Okay, so I'm going to add to what Tive just said for Lara. While Instagram is cool, because you are a starter, I would also advise that, we spoke about sales funnel. So, I mean, we are not saying FindNigerianProperties.com is the only channel that you should focus on, right? So if you want to advertise on Instagram, for instance, ensure that you are starting with something not too much. You can start with as low as maybe 3,000, and then you can also ask yourself, who are the people that will buy a property of 70 million, 80 million? And so when you are imputing information, you're targeting information and all that, you have to impute it. Are they luxury buyers, basketballers? I'm just giving an example. That is one of the work you have to do. You're targeting, but on FindNigerianProperty.com is absolutely free. Right. And I tell you, people who have money to buy property, they come to platforms like FindNigerianProperties.com. They want to meet with, especially because we are selling credibility. We are different from every other platform. You can go there and post anyhow. But on FindNigerianProperties.com, you cannot just post. You can list anyhow, right? But your listing will not go live anyhow because we are a self-regulated platform. Right. So, I mean, FindNigerianProperties.com, like you said, that you're going to look at it. I cancel that you start with FindNigerianProperties. On Instagram, fantastic. But just make sure you start with something small to test the market. What is giving you traction? What is giving you a lot of, clicks, traffic, and all that before you start doing. It took Tive a while to start doing 40,000 naira per day, so that you will not go and do 40,000 naira on a target audience that will not still convert, right? So you try different things, and then you also refocus your energy on a platform that is working, which is FindNigerianProperties.com. All right, Abiodun Akinbi, you will be the last person that will be talking, so that we can take some. We are actually late, so we can take some 1 or 2 questions from the chat box and call it the evening. All right, Abiodun, go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening.
Abiodun.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead, please, Abiodun.
please. My question is in twofold. The first part is how do I profile a prospective buyer? Then the second one is what is the fee structure like with an FNP? What's the fee structure? Like if you want to advertise on your platform now, what are the charges?
Okay, I've said it. It's absolutely free.
Okay.
Just make sure the property you are listing in it, you have good videos, good pictures, and you are not asking for 20%, 30% when the law says 5%.
Okay.
Yes. And then when it comes to profiling a client, TV will answer that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So when it comes to profiling a client, it's the same thing in sales, but when it comes to real estate, so a client sends you a message. Okay, so let's say you maybe the client did not even see an ad. Okay, so let's just take it from the ground up. Okay, maybe he was referred and sent you a message, and he said, Mr. Abiodun, I was told that you're a real estate this I want a property. Then you need to, first of all, because you need to have like usually I use the Google Sheets just to be able to follow up on my clients. You need to be able to have the name of the client, right? You need to ask the client, what type of property do you want to buy? Do you want to buy an apartment? Do you want how many bedrooms? Is it a 2-bedroom? Somebody cannot just say they want a property and you just go ahead to start sending them property, And one of the mistakes that realtors make most of the time is that they ask the client their budgets. First of all, Mr. I want to buy a property. They'll just say, what's your budget? You are not even interested in what type of property I want. What do I even want to use the property for? At least be interested in what my needs are, because it is human response. If you are interested in me, then I will want to buy from you because I know that you have my interest at heart, right? And which boils down to don't be transactional in your approach to a client. So when a client sends you a message, not to say what's your budget, at least ask the type of property they want to buy. How many bedrooms? Is it for investment or is it for residential purpose? Do they want to use it as an Airbnb? Imagine a client, because some clients don't even know what they want, right? Maybe a client just wants something as a passive income and you want a 4-bedroom. Okay, you did not ask the person what the property is actually, what the client wants to use the property for. And then you ask the budget and the client says, oh, I have a budget of 180 million. And then you start sending the client a 5-bedroom property or a 4-bedroom property in Awoyaya. And normally the client would want that property for an investment purpose. That client does not even know that Awoyaya, for people that are in Lagos, or for people that are not in Lagos, Awoyaya is like farther down on the island. Or you start sending property in Mile 12. It is a property. It is 4-bedroom, and it's also
I think Tive's internet is frozen. Can we hear me?
that's why consultancy now comes in, and that is what separates you from being an agent and being a real estate consultant. Then you can now advise based on what you have asked the client, or what do you want to use it for? Is it for rest? Then the person tells you, oh, it is for what's it called? It is for investment. Then you can now say, I would advise with this thing, instead of going for a 4-bedroom and your budget is Awoyaya budgets. Why don't we move ahead to, let's say, an orchard? that can buy a 2-bedroom because what that person needs it for, it's for investment purpose. The person is not staying there. The person already has properties. The person is not staying there. And that's where the advisory in real estate comes in. Okay, why don't you buy in this location? This location is very lucrative. With that, your 180 million, you can buy a property in, let's say, Ikate. Exactly. You can buy a 2-bedroom in Ikate and you furnish it, and then you start getting a stop when you close the deal. There's something called after sales, so that the person will be able to refer you to his people. Now, imagine if you've given the person 5-bedroom in Songotedo and it doesn't meet the client's needs. The person won't refer you to another person, right? You've just lost another sale. But when you streamline it and meet your client's needs, always ask them what they want to use the property for, and then you advise, and then you close the deal. Yeah. So that's really how you profile a client. And so you're able to meet the person's need. Yeah.
Thank you very
And
much.
even in the line of questioning, you're able to know whether the person is serious or not. Because that is when you know. Somebody, just like the example I gave, just send me everything. I already know that. I cannot just waste a lot of energy. At the end of the day, the person may buy you, but I'm not going to put all my energy on that particular client. I would rather go with clients that are ready to answer my questions and everything, and I'm able to give advice to. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Tive, because I mean, I can see in the chat session a lot of people asking that same question, that, okay, we've learned a lot about responding to client professionally. So how do we now profile this client? So it's important you start from the place of asking them questions, so that you can better clarify what exactly their needs are. Like, I'm going to cite an example of one that happened to me recently. So this client happened to be like a corporate client, like a set of staff that want development, and they reached out to me and said, oh, we want this, can you do this, can you do that? And I told them, okay, what exactly do you want? They want development. For what purpose? For residential, yourself, or residential for business, personal? How many are you guys? 10. Okay, good. How much, I mean, what kind of property are you looking at? Terrace, duplex, what location are you looking at? Because I know their organization is on the mainland in Lagos, for those of us in Lagos. And then they said, okay, this location. So, okay, this location, this is the amount they sell properties like that in this location. Like, really? That's more than our budget. So, I mean, that way you're already looking at it that, okay, so you can now ask, okay, so what's the figure? So what I'm trying to say is that you ensure that the budget is not the first thing you are asking. It's going to be towards the tail end. So by the time they now told me, 10 of them, they are looking at 70 each. Okay, so if it is 70 each, number one, you cannot get a terrace in the heart of mainland Lagos for 70. You can get it in outskirts, the likes of maybe Mowe, all those, extreme part of Lagos. But in the heart of Lagos, like of Gbagada, Surulere, you can't get a 70 million naira terrace. In fact, you can even get a 70 million naira terrace in some places on the island than you can get on the mainland. And so by the time they understood that, they now reduced their expectation to, okay, what if we look at an apartment? So that's creating value, that's solving problems. So you not waste your time trying to look for property that you will never get. And somebody also asked a question, Tive. So the person said that, okay, how can the person solve a situation where the client said, I'm coming for inspection. The client did not show up, and the person and his or her team member were already at the site of the property, and the client did not show up. So, Tive, what can such person do to stop that from happening another time? We have just 5 minutes to stop this. Tive, did you get that question? Please, can we hear me? Can we hear Tive too? Can we hear me? Please, if you can hear me, can you say hi? Okay. Okay. Tive, we lost you for some seconds.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Did you get the question?
Yes, I got the question. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was saying that, have you even been in real estate and this has not happened to you? It has happened to a lot of us. A lot of us, it has happened to. And sometimes it's not really because the client does not want to come. And that's why you have to be professional in your approach. It could be because of a plethora of reasons, really. It could be that the person had a meeting genuinely, right? The person could not make it because of a genuine reason. Now, there is no clear way to stop that from happening, because I cannot stop a client from having a meeting, another client from having a meeting that will not make them want to go. There's no clear way. However, the way you respond in such situations matter. Can you say will you just be angry and just ignore the client? Because I've had that client, a situation like that before, and the client still ended up buying. So the way your approach to that type of situation matters. You can send a message to the client, oh, good morning or good afternoon, sir. We're expecting you on site, yada, yada, yada. And you were around, hope all is well and all of that. And how can I, help to facilitate this process? We cannot really stop this from happening. If you are going to be having a lot of inspections in a week, this cannot just, it cannot just stop happening. However, your response to the situation is what matters. And that's what will end up closing the deal for you or breaking the deal for you. Is that going to make or mar the deal? Right. So there's really no clear way of avoiding that. If you have profiled your clients correctly, you have made sure that you have profiled your client correctly. This client is serious. I'm not talking about unserious clients. Yeah, so that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Tive, for sharing with us from your wealth of experience. And I'm sure everyone that is on this call tonight have learned one or two things. I want us to celebrate Tive and say, Tive, thank you. I need you to celebrate her in the chat box. Just say something nice to her so that you can get more. You can get more in the future. And if you have not joined our WhatsApp group, I need you to join now so that we can send you the recording of this webinar and also other information that would help you become better and close deals better. I need you to join this link. I need you to join this link now. Don't procrastinate. Join the WhatsApp group via this link. Click the link and join the WhatsApp group now. Don't procrastinate. There are going to be a lot of sharings, via the WhatsApp group. It's basically for sharing. It's not for you to post properties or post any other thing, just for you to learn. It's going to be a free learning center for realtors. Right. So thank you very much, Tive. Thank you for sharing, sharing tonight. Thank you for answering all our questions. And I also want to say a very big thank you to our participants from Lagos, from Abuja, from Bayelsa, from Ogun State, from all over. Thank you for joining this webinar tonight. And we hope you get to join our other webinars. And we would also appreciate that you give us a follow on our social media platform, finenigerianproperty.com. On Instagram, we are the official FNP. We are also on LinkedIn, and say something about us and all that. And trust me, you would always be getting a knowledge share every month. Thank you, everyone, and it's a good place to say have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye, everyone. Thank you.